Hello and welcome. It's easy to make something better, but how do we sustain our improvements? And once we've secured the gains from an improvement, how do we keep making it better? Put another way, how do we develop strategies to sustain excellence? Well, this is the question all leaders must answer sooner or later on the continuous improvement journey. We've helped people and organizations find answers to this question and sustain excellence through continuous improvement. Here are 8 lessons we've learned along the way. The first lesson is that while improvement tools are essential, it's not all about the tools. There are many powerful continuous improvement tools in Lean, Six Sigma, TPM, Agile, Theory of Constraints, TQM, and other methodologies. These tools have been proven to deliver savings to all industries. However, because there are so many, it's often a challenge to know where to start. The common sense answer is to start with the basics and build our capabilities step by step. But even so, it's very easy to get overwhelmed by all the choices and all of the possibilities for improvement using these tools. When we feel this way, the important thing to remember is that it's not about collecting all of the tools. Instead, the most important contribution these tools make to sustaining excellence is to develop people's ability to think. The second lesson is that educating and training everyone in continuous improvement concepts and methods is essential. But also, it's not about how many people you can train or how fast we can roll out the training. If we don't put what we learn to use right away, we soon forget. That's why it's important to balance classroom instruction with engagement and application through discussion and hands-on problem solving. In other words, we can't expect to sustain improvement by just doing training for training's sake. This leads us directly to our third lesson, which is to be clear about what problem we're trying to solve. Once again, there might be many problems, but we have to start with a few small but meaningful issues that people can address. Identifying exactly what problem we're trying to solve also tells people why they're learning a specific concept or tool. Having a clear goal and understanding how we'll measure success helps people take ownership of the knowledge and skills they're learning. Once we know this, it's tempting to implement the tools and techniques we learn right away. However, the fourth lesson is that we should act quickly, but without jumping to a solution. As an example, we want to avoid the situation where once we learn how to use a hammer, we start seeing every problem as a nail that requires pounding down. It's okay to move fast and make mistakes as long as we're also rapidly learning from our mistakes. The key is to understand the tools and techniques, how they may or may not work in our situation, while also continuing to make adjustments as needed. The fifth lesson is that continuous improvement must deliver results. Well, this might seem like common sense, but finding the right balance between aiming for results and aiming for maximum engagement can be a challenge. On the one hand, some organizations spend so much time justifying an improvement idea, we never actually try it out. On the other hand, some organizations believe that results will eventually follow if we make it as easy as possible for people to get involved in improvement. Well, one way to do this is by not insisting on justifying the benefit of every small change. The key is to find the right balance of effort between planning, justification, action, and confirming results. Additionally, part of being able to sustain excellence through continuous improvement is learning how to realize actual financial impact from applying the tools, often requiring that our leaders understand lean finance principles. The sixth lesson for sustaining excellence, which may be somewhat controversial, is that we must kill the program to give life to daily improvement. What this means is that many organizations make the mistake of thinking that they have a Lean, Six Sigma, or similar program, and that these experts, workshops, and projects are enough to sustain improvement. A central team may research continuous improvement practices, develop training programs, and implement projects. This is good. Programs are also often necessary to get continuous improvement going, to bring in new ideas, or to help organizations reach a higher level of performance. However, by definition, programs are started as separate from the day-to-day business. The risk in this case is that we may forget to set an end date for the program, or we may fail to plan for integrating these skills and practices into the day-to-day business. Sustaining excellence requires that the people closest to the daily work can identify problems early, take corrective action, and call in specialists when needed. Planning the phase-out and transitioning from program-driven improvement to everyone, everyday improvement is essential for sustaining excellence. The seventh lesson can be summed up as trust but verify. As we increasingly empower people to take ownership of their process, make changes, and drive continuous improvement, leadership must be more visible and present on the Gemba, or the actual workplace. This takes many forms, including participating in daily stand-up meetings in the workplace, doing Gemba walks, and conducting process confirmation audits. Many organizations build daily management systems based on these practices. Sometimes, after many years of continuous improvement, it's hard to find small, simple improvements. Going to the Gemba and quietly observing the work can be a great solution for this. This can be as simple as taking 15 minutes to stand and observe a process. As we notice things that bother us, puzzle us, or look wasteful, we write these down and use them as starting points for improvement ideas. In other words, sustained excellence takes effort, and the best type of effort is realized when leaders go to the Gemba for routine check-ins with people and processes. Next, there's a common misunderstanding that sustaining excellence means achieving a high level of performance and keeping it there. In other words, we want control. However, the truth is that we can't control the future. We can only continue by taking action today. What goes up must come down. Variation is inherent to all processes. Things that are organized become more disorganized. The second law of thermodynamics tells us that entropy increases over time. We may organize our workplace, fix a safety issue, improve productivity, and feel great about these changes. But we can change the fact that the process will start to slowly get worse after days or weeks if left alone. So, a key to sustaining excellence is accepting that it's nearly impossible to freeze and control any kind of improvement. Instead, we need to look for signs that it's getting a little bit worse and find ways to make it a little bit better. We'll see you next time.